Hello. And welcome to our scoop. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Story 1. My best buddy's girlfriend is ruining our friendship. Backtrack a few months ago. My buddy, we'll call him Chad, went through a devastating breakup. We all thought Chad and his then girlfriend, who we'll name Alice, were perfect. They both had looks and personalities. But the way they solved things in their relationship always ended with the pair ignoring each other, which was the main cause of their problems. I told Chad to remain single for a bit. And he did. But then a few months ago, he started talking to someone who used to go to a neighboring high school. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah was a friend of a friend, but I never knew her. Weirdly enough, Sarah had friended me on all my socials, as if she was stalking me beforehand. I accepted all of her requests and thought nothing of it until later. Apparently, Chad and Sarah were hitting it off. So the time came, and Chad finally introduced her to the rest of our group. It started innocent enough. We all got to know her. But I looked back. And I realized now that me and Sarah shared the most conversations out of the whole group. Aside from Chad, of course. I'm a chatterbox when I need to be. Like, for example, if I feel a conversation is going dry, I'll usually try my best to keep it going until it ends naturally. When we would double date, until me and my ex broke up. Me and Sarah would have our own conversations. I thought of them as conversations. But my ex, who was the jealous type, told me it was like I was flirting with her. I told her repeatedly nothing was happening between me and Sarah. But my ex and I started having problems of our own. We fell apart. And I ended up living with Chad and Sarah until I got myself a new place. My connection with Sarah and Chad blossomed over the next few weeks. After I moved out, I thanked Chad for opening his home to me. But one night, I got a message from Sarah. She said, "Hey, can we talk?" I replied, "Why?" Keep in mind that we never messaged any time before this. Sarah replied, "We need to talk. Can I come over?" I said, "Is Chad coming?" She replied, "No." I was very cautious about this whole thing. I didn't want my best friend to find out his girlfriend was at my house without him knowing the full context. Sarah showed up. And I asked her flat out what was up. To keep a long story short, she admitted she was in love with me. When she told me, I said, "What do you mean?" She explained she always wanted me, not Chad, and figured out that she would use him to get closer to me. My heart dropped. I said, "No, you don't love me. You're with Chad." And she expressed how she felt about me. It was then that she made a pass at me and tried kissing me. I pushed her off and asked her to leave. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to see Chad heartbroken again after what he had been through just a few months earlier. But I came up with a way to tell Chad. I really wanted to tell him. I had to tell him. I just didn't know how to do it. I ended up telling another of our friends a day later. And he told me that he always had a suspicion about Sarah and heard things about her. So it didn't surprise him. I tried asking him if he could tell Chad. But he told me I should be the bigger person and tell him myself. I finally worked up the courage to tell him. And I called him. At first, he didn't answer. So I tried him 2 more times before I lost the nerve. When he finally answered, he sounded pretty pissed with me. I asked if he was alright and then told him I really needed to tell him something. I mentioned Sarah's name. And that's what got him started. He began throwing accusations at me and told me that Sarah admitted to him the night before that she was cheating on him with me. I denied everything and tried speaking. But he shut me down. We had an argument over the phone before he finally hung up on me. I went to his house the day after because I really wanted to tell him. But when he answered the door, Sarah was in the background. We locked eyes before she quickly turned her head. He said what I wanted. And I told him straight that Sarah didn't love him and she was only using him. Chad laughed and called BS and said that he and Sarah agreed to patch their relationship without me in the way. I pulled the, after everything we've been through, you're choosing her words over mine when I have never lied to you, card on him before I turned to leave. It's been 4 months since I've spoken to Chad or Sarah. But I've since heard that I wasn't the only person Sarah tried coming on to despite being in a relationship. I know Chad. We grew up at each other's houses. And one thing I do know about him is that he'll come to his senses soon enough. After reading everyone's comments, I realize I should have handled the situation better than I did. But I just want my friend back. I just need to find a way to get rid of Sarah. Before Sarah blocked me on everything, I managed to get a screenshot of our conversations, which didn't really have any proof. But knowing Chad, I feel like it's enough to prove to him I didn't come on to her at all. I'm just waiting for the right time. Here's my opinion. At this point, after 4 months, I'd accept it as his decision. He'll learn his lesson when he needs to. You should never beg anyone to be in your life. He made his choice and he chose her. If his girlfriend told him she was cheating on him and he decided to cut you out of the picture first, he's personally deciding and letting her know that it's okay if she does cheat on him. It wouldn't be too surprising if she was anyway. If she'd do things like this to break up your friendship with him. He values her more than he values you. That is what he is letting you know in this situation without voicing it out loud. In reality, he probably just doesn't want to go through another tough breakup. So he'd rather cater to her than to you. My first course of action would have been to call him up the moment she asked to come over to your place alone. Because that in itself is a weird thing for your best friend's girlfriend to do regardless of if she was also a friend of yours. There should have been some boundaries regarding that. He's the first person you should have went to honestly. Not anyone else. I wouldn't even try too much to get him back as a friend if someone he met a couple of months ago is able to steer him off track this much. He has some more life to experience. And he'll be sorry he lost out on a good friend when he realizes. Just keep moving forward and stay focused on your goals. Other good friends will come along the way. Story 2. I, 20M, found out my girlfriend, 23F, of 9 months is cheating and pregnant. I, 20M, had been dating my girlfriend, 23F, Jane, for 9 months when I started to have my suspicions. She was spending more and more time at her friend's place. She sometimes wouldn't text me for hours. It kept getting more and more weird over the weeks. It just kept getting weirder. I talked to one of my friends and he thought she was cheating and I told him that wasn't for sure. Eventually, I pushed it away and didn't think about it. A few weeks ago I got a call from my friend saying that a mutual of ours posted a photo of my girlfriend and some guy at a party. I got him to show me the photo. It was a photo of a group but in the corner was my girlfriend on the lap of some dude. I talked it through with my friend and chose to confront her. But I told him I would take a bit to think about what I was going to say. A week later, I got a text from my friend asking me to call him after work. I called him to find him speeding off about how he found the boy's profile and he had apparently been dating my girlfriend for 5 months. I ended up staying on a call with him for 4 hours just venting. A few days later, I got a call from my friend halfway through my work shift. Then I got a call from Jane. I was not in the mood to answer. So I didn't. I got off the call with my friend and I had 2 missed calls from my girlfriend. I went to bed and decided I would call her in the morning. I woke up to a knock on my door at 11 p.m. I went to the door to see it was Jane. I opened the door and she was crying. I asked her what was wrong and she just blurted out that she was pregnant. I was in shock. But I couldn't let her know I knew she was cheating. I took her over to my bed and she just cried. I comforted her and patted her back while she cried. She babbled about how her parents were going to kill her. And how she wasn't going to be able to do the things she wanted. I tried to comfort her the best I could. When she stopped crying, I laid down and told her to sleep and I would talk to her about this in the morning. She fell asleep about 3 hours ago and I can't sleep. I don't know what to do. I know it's not mine. We have only slept together like that twice. We also both use protection. I mean, maybe she lied. She said she was on the pill, but I don't know. I use protection both times. Maybe it is mine. But I really think it's the other guy's. Her parents are super religious. If she chooses to keep it, then they're not going to support her. I've been thinking about it. If it is mine, then I have enough money to let her move in maybe. I'm very good at saving and I currently live in my own apartment in the city where I go to school. I saved up a lot to do this when staying with my parents. I don't have enough to support my current way of living. But if I cut down on expensive things for my girlfriend and stuff, I could get a good job. But even if it's not mine, what is she going to do? According to my friend, the guy she's cheating with lives halfway across the city, about half an hour away. I stalked his profile for like 20 minutes and I'm not sure. But I think he already had kids. What if he doesn't want the kid? Why did she come to me, not him? What if she tried? What if she doesn't tell me I might not be the dad? What if she doesn't care? Thinks I don't know and thinks she could just go with it. But on the other hand, I love her. I could be the dad, even if it's not mine. I've always wanted a kid. Maybe not this young, but that's okay. Right. Please help me. I want to help my girlfriend. Here's my opinion. If the baby is not yours, you should in no way tie yourself to her. The best course of action would be to break up with her, since she was two-timing you with the other guy. There is a possibility that she came to you because she knew how the other guy is. You seem like a really kind person based on the fact that you are more empathetic toward her than angry. The fact that she was cheating on you and even got pregnant doesn't really seem to bother you at all. Now, I'm not saying that you should be angry, but you are so young and you should learn how to have more self-respect. I know for a fact that there are people out there who will not cheat on you and will love you enough to be satisfied with just you. Please do not settle for her, even if she is pregnant. You being almost certain that it is not your baby is very telling. And you have no obligation to help her. Especially since she couldn't even give you loyalty. Which is the bare minimum. That is not someone you would want to be with in the long run. She is now running to you after she made the choices she made. She knows your heart and that you are a nice guy. I say, remain a nice guy, but have some self-respect and know your worth. If it is your child, then it will be understandable to help take care of the child. But if not, it would not be wise to get yourself tangled in her mess. Your first course of action should be confronting her about her cheating ways. Then get a DNA test for the baby to see if you are the father as soon as possible. From there, your decisions should be made by you. Since she already made plenty of decisions, which none of them were wise ones. I hope everything works out well for you and you are able to escape this situation with no ties to someone who treats you like that. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next latest scoop. And be sure to subscribe and comment if you enjoyed this video.